Hey everyone, welcome. Jane Cormack here, founder of Rhythm and Colour, cultivating courage in women to shine through creativity. So welcome to my weekly rhythmic inspiration. Today I'm going to talk about, does your framework support your flow? And the title and the theme for this week's rhythmic inspiration came to me yesterday whilst I was doing a painting, a spontaneous painting. So I'm just going to show you the painting and just talk about what the meaning of this painting is and how the theme came about and how important it is to learn this, how important it is to understand the balance of our framework and our flow as women. So I'll just get the painting. So here we are. It's a really small painting, and I was just sitting there yesterday, it was Sunday afternoon, and I had loads of things to do. I had, flyers to make up, I had lots of computer work to do, but inside I had this really strong urge to create something, to work with paint, to create a painting. And so I looked at my materials, and I had this really small canvas, a blank canvas, and I laid my materials out. And I sat for a few moments in this beautiful space that I have here at the moment and just began intuitively choosing colours. So I began with the pink as a background, and then what emerged was this kind of geometric framework, this mathematical looking structure, which it's not something I'm prone to doing. And I just continued with this and I was really enjoying it. And at the same time as I was painting, I was sort of communicating with myself, because in a previous video I shared with you how we can use creativity as a language, how we use creativity as a language of communication. And that can mean communicating with ourselves. It's one way of communicating with our deeper selves or our higher selves, whatever you want to call it. And what can emerge can be surprising to you, to me, to the person that's creating. So after I created the geometric patterns and the structure of this, then what emerged were little flowers, and the stalks of these flowers winding and weaving their way through the structure and the framework that I'd created. So I'll just give you a bit of a close-up. There it is, and I'll post a picture below as well so you can see it in more detail. So that's the painting, and that's the theme for what I want to share with you today. So framework is like having foundations, having solid foundations. It's having a good structure. It's like a holding net of support and strength, which to me represents the more of a masculine energy, which is everything that I've just said, support, strength, structure, framework. And the flowers and the way that they weave and flow through that framework, it's like water. They're more organic, there's movement, they're intuitively moving, it's spontaneous, and that represents more feminine qualities. Now, as women, we can use and utilize both of those. We don't have to be one or the other. A lot of women struggle with maybe being too much in their masculine, where they are in a very controlling environment, or they have a very structured life. It's very rigid and there's no space for movement. There's no space to be intuitive or spontaneous. And that is a very, very important thing to be able to do as a woman, is to express that part of ourselves. And then on the feminine side, if a woman's too much in the feminine, then, you know, maybe she's a bit too floaty or not very focused, not really got any direction or going anywhere, just sort of floating through life. And, you know, that's okay. Either is okay. It can work for some people, but I want to share with you that we can have both. We do have both, and how we can use both in our lives to create the life that we want. So we can create a very solid structure or framework, and for example, within a business, that could be a really strong online platform. It could be your website. It could be the foundations of a book that you're writing. It could be organizing a gallery exhibition. It could be organizing a series of workshops. You're creating a structure, but you're also creating space around that structure, which can be used for spontaneous expression, which allows you to follow your intuition, follow your heart, and do what feels good in the moment as well. And it's really finding that balance of having both things. Now, this also ties into a workshop that I'm giving in collaboration with my really good friend Marielle van Dop in the Netherlands in July. And the workshop's called The Feminine Art of Listening, Connecting Nature and Creativity. And as an example, yesterday I listened to myself, although I had all these other things to do, or thought I had to do. I followed my inspiration and my intuition to create a piece of art that I wanted to create. And from that art, I got a message from myself. I communicated with myself through creativity to understand why it is that I created the painting and how I can use that idea in my life to create a solid foundation, a good structure, a framework in which I can flow, in which I can also move, so I don't feel stuck or constrained or too rigid. You know, I want to feel expansive. And so in the workshop that's coming up, The Feminine Art of Listening, we're going to teach you how to listen more deeply to these callings from within yourself, and how we can use nature and creativity and how beautifully they marry together to help us to listen more deeply. So I'll be sending you more information about that in a future email or future video. So watch out for the details about that. So what I want to challenge you to do right now is to look at your life and look at where you might have a little bit too much control or structure, where you'd like to loosen things a bit, and where you would like more flow and spontaneity, and how they can go together. And you can use art, you can use movement to loosen up your body. You can use the tools of creative expression to communicate with yourself and to understand how you can create a framework too, from which you can then flow and move. So I'll post some inspiring little details and challenges of what you can do to get to that place below this video. So if you've enjoyed this video, then do share it on your favorite social media sites and leave a comment on my blog page below the video, which you'll see. And until next time, keep creating, and I will see you very soon. Okay, bye for now.